So good morning from Spa-Francorchamps, qualifying 1 of 2 today on Saturday here at this legendary 7-kilometre Belgian facility. We're doing things a little bit differently this weekend in GTOpen. 2 qualifying sessions on Saturday, just the 1 race on the Sunday. This circuit is playing host to a 2-hour 20-minute race. So it's going to be a slightly longer race. It's going to be 3 pit stops over the course of the 2 hours and 20 minutes. Qualifying in these 2 sessions will be dictated by the average time across the sessions. There are 2 drivers, as always, in the GTOpen. However, the 2 drivers will be... their times will be combined into an average time, and that is how we are going to set the grid today. So things are going to be a little bit different. We've got a normal, the normal selection of fabulous GT3 machinery here, and as ever, myself, Adam Weller, joined in the commentary box by George Morgan here at Spa. We've been taking in the circuit, we've been hearing from the drivers. Unsurprisingly, quite a popular facility.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Spa-Francorchamps, historical tradition, lots of racing at this circuit, of course, and we're going to be seeing some more brilliant moments for sure here at Spa with the GTOpen Championship. And I have to say, coming into this event, we have got the likes of Joe Osborne and Nick Moss coming off the back of a double win at Paul Ricard. And now they lead the championship, Adam. They're going to have bags of confidence coming into today.
Yeah, absolutely they will. Quite a few teams, I think, have, good cause to be confident. The FIBA Motorsport team, of course, with their successes in the Pro-Am category so far this year. Then, of course, as you said, the Moss and Osborne guys, the Optimum Motorsport McLaren team, and I'd say also Alexander Fracowina and Martin Conrad in the Team Landgraf Mercedes AMG GT3. They have had plenty of good form so far this year. However, things aren't perfect at the wheel of that number 25 car. They showed me the data earlier on, actually. It's a little bit slower than any other car, including the other Mercedes, in the speed trap. They sent the engine away to HWA to take a look at it, see what's going on, but seemingly the issues persist. So not quite sure what's going on down there, but Alexander Fracowina is at the wheel of the car at the moment. Our AM points leaders will be looking to get a good time on the board in this first session. As always with the GTOpen, the one driver will be focusing on this session. So you see it's Kevin Giardoni in this Oregon Team Lamborghini right now. He will be in the car all session long. Later on this afternoon, when we have qualifying 2, Glenn Van Berlo will take the wheel.
Yeah, the average time will then be decided between the 2 drivers that set their times across Q, the first qualifying session, and the second one later on this afternoon. So as we now ride on board with Kevin Giardoni making his way up the Kemmel Straight. Next up is Lecom out of turn 5 and 6. This one a very tight-knit chicane, of course. Progressive too, but you'll ride the curb on the inset, on the outset as well, taking the next left-hander, next right-hander as they make their way through this next right. Now taking the downward slope, leading towards the Bruxelles corner. Now we had a little look yesterday, Adam. We did a little walk at the first part of the circuit. We went around Lecom, well, no, before Lecom. In fact, we actually went through Eau Rouge and Radion, but before that, the bus stop chicane and La Source as well. It's just a spectacular circuit, isn't it?
It really is a spectacular facility. 7 kilometres, 4.35 miles. It's the longest circuit we visit all season long here in the International GTOpen. Of course, the anniversary of Spa was, technically speaking, 1921. However, the first car races at Spa were in 1922. So it was 100 years ago that car racing was first held on the original 15-kilometre layout here at Spa-Francorchamps. It's a venue with so much history. We've been coming here in GTOpen since 2008. The first 2 years, 06, 07, we didn't have a race at Spa, but from 2008 onwards we have. Of course, our first 2 seasons, 2006, 2007, we also used to have an endurance race. That used to be one of the crown jewels of the season in the early days of the International GTOpen. So we're back to Spa for the 15th consecutive year, and we're back to having an endurance race format. Currently, it's Adam Christodoulou, a endurance racing connoisseur at the top of the order, a 2:18.518 is the lap time that he has set so far. Of course, Adam was racing at the Nürburgring 24 Hours last month and managed to get a podium with Get Speed last month in the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Of course, now he's up against Get Speed again here in the GTOpen paddock.
Yeah, a bit of a contrasting affair on this occasion. Obviously, they coming into this event, 3 Pro-Am wins for Thiba Motorsport up to now. They managed to succeed twice at Estoril in the Pro-Am category, and also first in Paul Ricard as well on one occasion too. So they come here with a rich bag of form. They have also scored podiums as well across the overall order, currently sitting on 2 overall class podiums, to be fair, so still mixing it up with the pro drivers, but they certainly have made it clear that they want to fight for overall wins, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we see a lot of that out of the Pro-Am teams in general. The more ambitious Am drivers will be there saying, I can take them, I definitely can. And Nick Moss is, of course, the primary example of that, being a bronze driver who's inserted himself right into the pro ranks for this year, along with Joe Osborne here in this Optimum Motorsport McLaren. He was actually 3/10 purple in the first sector. First sector is basically the run from the start-finish line to Le Combe, so it's basically all flat out with the exception of La Source. He's lost a bit of time, though, in the middle sector. Still could be a solid lap. David Fuminelli on the screen there, just registering a 2:18.531 to go third fastest. The current fastest driver of all, though, is Yannick Mettler of the SPS Performance team, and great to see them out there and running quickly again. Yannick was involved in some good scraps at Paul Ricard last time out, and he and Dexter Muller, I'm sure they would love to try and scrap for an overall podium as well as a Pro-Am win this weekend.
Absolutely. Just a little reminder, obviously since the start of the season, no team has actually managed to notch 2 podiums, more than 1 podium this season already. Obviously, currently, Murat Radoroglu and David Fuminelli. David Fuminelli driving at Estoril, securing that podium. Of course, you've got the likes of Marcin Jedlinski and Karol Bash, who managed to secure a podium as well, as Rima Jafali and Adam Christodoulou, who also scored one, and Nick Moss and Joe Osborne. So could this be the first occasion we might see someone do 2 pole positions this season, Adam?
Might well be possible, yes. We'll have to wait and see on that one. We'll have to keep our eye across the 2 sessions, of course, with the average times in play. Yannick Mettler on the screen at the moment. Oh, a little squirrel running across the circuit there. Glad that one managed to stay out of the way. They have red squirrels here in the Ardennes Forest by the looks of it. Yannick Mettler abandoning the time. He was following another car that's new to the series, the number 4 Haupt Racing Team, Mercedes of Jordan Love and Frank Bird. Jordan Love at the wheel of the car at the moment. They're new to the series for this season, taking in the Spa round, maybe joining us again as the year goes on, and great to have them with us, and great to have those famous Bilstein colours with us in this paddock.
Yeah, definitely. Great to see some new teams joining as well. We also have another one as well, Singer Racing Team, bring in PT Birambakti, and he is going to be joined by Earl Bamber this weekend, and he comes with a rich pedigree of racing as well, Adam. Obviously, his experience is known to many. Double Le Mans winner, comes here with a rich pedigree in this kind of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny because he's an overall Le Mans winner twice over in the Porsche program, the 919 Porsche. But realistically, more than anything, as Fuminelli goes top there in a 2:18.161, but Earl Bamber is realistically, more than anything, a GT Porsche specialist, Porsche Super Cup champion. He's constantly around the world with his own Earl Bamber Motorsport team, who are supporting the Singer Porsche this weekend, or with other teams as a factory driver. As much as Earl has been very potent in the LMP1 program in years gone by, and I'm sure more than likely he'll be a factor when Porsche returns to the top class of Le Mans in the next couple of years. Yeah, he's just as good at the wheel of an LMP as he is a GT car, and a very versatile driver at that. And we mustn't underplay his co-driver either. PT Birambakti is a champion GT racer over in Thailand. Interestingly, a bit of a reunion, because back in the day, racing in Thailand, he used to go up against none other than Kiki Saknana, his fellow Thai, and the pair of them will be once again potentially locking heads, albeit a slightly different environment. We're talking, I just spoke with both of them actually about the Bang Saen street circuit in Thailand, which is an insane circuit, and they said, yeah, I remember racing PT there. Kiki was like, yeah, I remember a good battle with PT there. It's like, well, Spa's a bit different, but let's see if you can do it again. Let's see what happens there. Fulminelli still going quickly out there on circuit. He had what was a purple first sector. Someone's beat him now, though, because it's gone to green. Max Hofer is, I think, on a bit of a lap at the moment. He's got the first 2 sectors purple. So Max Hofer, who was the fastest driver in free practice yesterday, is on a charge at the moment. Max has admitted he can't quite go flat out through Eau Rouge in that Audi R8 LMS Evo 2. I do have it on good authority, however, that the Mercedes guys are going flat. So the mid-engined car slightly less stable through the Eau Rouge Rabion section. Here comes Hofer at 218.028. He goes top yet again.
Yeah, following on from his exploits in practice, of course, they had a steering issue at House Motorsport in free practice 1, so weren't able to get the car going the way they would have liked, but still, nonetheless, Max Hofer proving to be a very peripheral figure here at Spa, notching together our first, well, certainly the top time so far, a 1 at 218.028. This moment in time, Kevin Gillardoni, who are currently riding on board with, coming through the next chicane as well. As you now see from the onboard pictures, coming down into the next double right-hander, and there is the Kessel Racing car. And that is certainly belonging to, I believe that is that Fulminelli making his way up through the order? It is, yeah. And Murat Radoroglu's car, so of course making their way up through towards the Kemmel Straight, and he's currently sat in P2. He's only just over, well, around 0.2 of a second away from Max Hofer, so he'll be looking to turn that around.
Fulminelli's been quick in qualifying pretty much all season long. Of course, he had those spectacular laps at Estoril that we were very much enjoying back in the very first qualifying session of the 2022 season here in the International GTOpen. We've already been to Estoril for our season opener. We were at Paul Ricard this time a month ago. Now we're at Spa, and we'll be in the Hungaroring in about 3 weeks' time as well. It is a fabulous calendar that we have here, and certainly the intrigue coming into this event with the new format, or the slightly different format, the endurance race, is compelling, and it seems like a lot of these drivers are genuinely very excited to go endurance racing here in GTOpen. We see Max Hofer not quite improving on his time at the moment. His co-driver Dino Steiner, I was talking to him earlier on, and he said, you know what, I think this is the longest race I've done since 2004. He did a 3-hour Porsche Owners Club race in the United States with his dad in about 2004, and he reckons this is the longest race he has done since that day, which is really, really interesting. Steve Jans there, we just got a look at the 911 Get Speed Mercedes running through the bus stop chicane, and here comes Max Hofer across the line now. Somehow doubt this time will be an improvement, unless he's had a mega final sector. He's had a mega final sector. Never mind. 217.707. Thank you, Max. Max Hofer there with a fabulous run through Blanchemont and around the bus stop. Of course, if he lost a bit of time in the final sector on his previous lap, then that is, I guess, understandable. He must have had a poor run through, because the first couple of sectors didn't look that special. Sector 3, though, puts him into the 217s. He's the only driver so far to have broken that 2-minute 18 barrier.
He must have heard you talking, Adam.
Yeah.
I have to say, getting to the top there, obviously intent on securing that P1 spot, and he's now over 4.5 tenths clear of David Fulminelli right now. Still quite a bit of time left in this qualifying session. We've got 15.5 minutes remaining. There's Jordan Love making his way around the circuit, round Pouhon, and he's now going to be making his way down through towards Les Farniers at turn 12 and 13. He's got Campus next, which is the beginning of the double right bends heading into Paul Frere as he now comes out of Les Farniers corners. Heading now, oh, really taking a lot of the gravel there, lost the rear slightly, and that will cost him an awful lot of time. And we looked at the dangers of some of these curbs yesterday, Adam. They were slightly raised, and because there's very little relief between the green strip and the track, it's so easy to dip those tyres into that gravel.
Yeah, I think some other sections of the circuit there's a bit more relief than outside La Source, which has of course been newly renovated with a gravel track. But yes, in general, not much room for manoeuvre at some of those corners, and coming out of Fania is a prime example of that, a prime example too, apparently. Jordan Love then in the series for the first time, the Australian driver, 23 years old, and has had great success out in the Porsche Carrera Cup Australia, moved over to Europe a couple of years ago and has been plying his trade in top-level GT3 competition ever since. It never gets easier to see when a GT3 machine is that close to being in the barriers. He controlled that very well indeed.
Yeah, very controlled steering indeed. Just saw a little flick of the arms and he was able to keep the car on track as he now makes his way up through Rouge and Radion and then heading up towards the Kemmel Straight. And here we have the onboard of Jordan Love as he now poleaxes his way up through towards Les Combes. Beautiful part of the track this. You've got the trees overbearing here at the Ardennes Forest on the left-hand side and the right as well. And it's such a picturesque place to visit. Comes into Les Combes now, and that's through turns 5, 6. He's got Malmedy coming up next at turn 7. Very important to get turn 6 right, so it tees you up perfectly for that turn 7 bend. Looks like someone might have dipped into the gravel prior because you can still see the dust just flickered up here at that point. Heading through this next right-hander of Brochel's at turn 8. And next up is turn 9, the Jackie X corner. Of course, named this after 2018, after the famous Belgian racing driver, to honour his achievements certainly in racing. And now he's got a corner named after him. Heading down through towards Pouhon now. Jordan Love just hooking it up, just staying tight into the curbing and taking a bit on exit as well as he now makes his way down through towards Les Farnier at turn 12 and 13. Now, very important that he gets this one absolutely right. Doesn't want to repeat of what happened previously as he now looks to execute coming out of certainly Les Farnier. Campus coming up at turn 14. Got it nicely done there indeed, Jordan Love. And just moves the car in to the inside. The double right-handers are coming up indeed at Campus in towards Paul Frere at turn 15. There's the Aust Motorsport car of Max Turfer. And the Audi car still on top billing, and he's gone purple in the first sector, Adam.
Some traffic up ahead. Let's see if that makes a difference. It's not really traffic. It's Adam Christodoulou alongside the number 72 McLaren of Nick Moss. So both of those drivers will be going quickly. Whether or not the disturbed air has an effect on the lap for Max Hofer, I'm not sure. Looks like Nick Moss has backed out of the lap, and well, thankfully Moss was consistent in his car positioning there. The last thing you want is a driver that swerves last minute and causes a collision. Very heads-up driving there from Nick Moss. Christodoulou, what's his lap looking like? I think he's on an out lap at the moment, actually. So Christodoulou not on a flyer either, but it looks as though he's pushing Hofer through the second sector split, and he's still purple by a few hundredths of a second. He had a dynamite final sector last time we saw him on screen. Let's see what this one is like. Through Blanchemont they go. Let's listen for a lift. I don't think there was one there. That V10 sounded like it was singing the whole way through. The 5.2 litre unit in the back of the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2. Max Hofer has been using it to great effect thus far in the qualifying session. He's already the better part of half a second faster than anybody. Can he improve? Yes, he can. A 2:17.660 puts him almost exactly half a second clear of David Fulminelli. Fulminelli still on a 2:18.161. Well, Max Hofer has come to win today, hasn't he?
He's in great, rich form. Half a second the difference between him and David Fulminelli, managing to certainly find more time in all three sectors. So very well done by Max Hofer. And he's now making his way up through towards the Kemmel Straight yet again. You can see Adam Christodoulou just ahead of him too. No doubt he'll be looking to go for another fast run on this occasion. As Adam alluded to, we saw him out on an out lap previously. And further back behind, you can see there Nick Moss also in the car for the Optimum Motorsport McLaren, currently leading the championship at this moment in time after a rampant display at Paul Ricard. It has to be said, a wonderful visit. 2 wins across the weekend, and they've been really consistent because they scored some decent podiums at Estoril. Off the back of that, Nick Moss proving that he can really mix it up with the pro drivers, helping get those 2 wins last time out.
Well, of course, the second win, arguably the most impressive last time out, because, of course, they had the handicap after the first race. I believe it was 22nd handicap added to their penalty stop, 95 seconds as opposed to 75. And, you know, that was really a great showing out of Moss. Yannick Mettler is on a very quick lap. We just see the graphic showing that. Here comes Yannick now in the SPS Mercedes. He goes top, a 2:17. 2:17.625 by all of 300ths of a second. Yannick Mettler has put the SPS Performance Mercedes up to the top of the order. Max Hofer could be responding though, because he's on a quick lap too. Meanwhile, Christian Koronovsky there having a bit of an off-track moment at the Paul Frere curve, just about holds on to it, but that will have been edge of the seat stuff out of the Ferrari driver there. There's Yannick Mettler, but we want to take a look at Max Hofer because he was on a quick-looking lap. Let's see if Hofer is going to retaliate with a fast lap of his own. Mettler still pushing on, just dispatching there the 39 car of PT Biron Bakti. Waiting for with bated breath to see Hofer's final time in this lap. He goes top again, 2:17.576. We can just confirm that now. He's just going through La Source. He went through went across the line that time with a 2:17.576. So Yannick Mettler has been dispatched almost as quickly as he arrived at the top of the timing screens. Max Hofer has put him back down to second.
As indeed, absolutely great lap from Max Hofer to land himself a top-end place, and within half a tenth of a second of Yannick Mettler as well, who's managed to get certainly the time listed at the top end too. Currently sitting on the front row. If we were talking a race straight after this, but of course we've got to factor in the fact that we've got another qualifying session later on, so these will be averaged out come the end of the two qualifying sessions. You can see there Alan Valente there flashing his lights. He actually went preliminary P3 at one point, but had his time deleted and after track limits at turn 4, I believe. So he unfortunately not able to get that top end time listed on the board, but still looking to find a little bit of time here. So Alan Valente, as part of the Mercedes conglomerate, making his way around the next right-hander for Team GT and heading out of the Bruxelles Bend, where you'll very soon take the Jackie X corner through the next left at turn 9, and you'll take a lot of the curbage and then power down through. And again, a flash of the lights there as well, just warning the traffic, I'm here, I'm on a fast lap, as Alan Valente heads around this next left-hander now. Scoops through turn 10 and 11, before then reaching turns 12 and 13 at Les Farniers. This very tight chicane again, a little bit of a twitch there from the Team GT car, but he's okay, keeping control of that Mercedes wonderfully right now, just heading out now of Les Farniers in towards campus at turn 14. And here we have none other than car number 9. That is, of course, Janine Schaffner, all the way from the States. She's here fighting here at Spa, just running a little bit wide there, but here to fight. So no doubt we'll see an impressive display here from them this weekend.
Undoubtedly so, yes. She and Moritz Kranz in the Pro-Am class in the number 9 Get Speed Mercedes. Moritz, of course, a Nürburgring specialist, but also plied his trade out in the United States in prototype racing, joining us this season in the International GTOpen with Janine Schaffner. They've been entertaining so far, I'll say that much. I think they're probably the most embattled team in GTOpen so far this year. Every time we see them on camera, they seem to be in the midst of a scrap, whether it's Moritz or Janine at the wheel. Always great fun when the number 9 car is on camera, and I'm sure that Janine Schaffner will be giving it everything she's got at the moment. She's got a personal best second sector here, actually, so let's see if Janine improves on this lap. She's currently 15th fastest overall in the last of the Pro-Am cars on our timing screen. Cross the line she goes. She does improve a 2:21.177, but no change in position for Janine just yet.
No, not at all, but still plenty of time, well, a little bit of time to go. It's just under 6 minutes, but she'll stay out, no doubt, to go again. David Fuminelli still on track, and he's improved in the first 2 sectors, actually within half a second of improvement now as well. Currently sat in 3rd place, and this currently should sit him, well, he's not far off P2 position, so we'll have to see how he fares up. He heads down through towards bus stop in the Ferrari, and will very shortly be tackling this section of curbs. Obviously the exit's so vital to make sure that you do land a really, really good time, as he now makes his way out of the final corner, heading up towards the line. What's David Fuminelli going to bring us? A final third. Oh, it's brilliant! It's sensational! It is a P1 finish. It looked like he was only going to get 2nd fastest, but a great final sector did improve to get 1st fastest. Another superstar performance from David Fuminelli here, Adam.
Purple in sector 2, personal best in sector 3. That was a very impressive lap out of David Fuminelli, a 2:17.1 1:39. Well, you talk about lowering the bar. He's just thrown it to the floor and then dug it a couple of feet under the ground. It's going to take a lot of digging for anyone to rediscover that kind of pace in the remaining 4 minutes and 48 seconds of the session. David Fuminelli on the top then. Let's see if Max Hofer can do anything about that. Let's see what Yannick Mettler can do as well. Yannick's actually just had a time deleted because of track limits issues. Fuminelli, though, he's not content with that. He reckons he can go quicker in the Kessel Racing Ferrari. Murat Hadaroglu is going to be very satisfied with his pro driver's performance here today if he keeps this up through what was known as Speaker's Corner, these days rechristened as the Jackie X Corner. Of course, they've now got 2 lines there, depending on whether you're a motorcyclist or a car racer. Pouhon Corner, otherwise known, I think, these days as the Double Gauche, but bear in mind, but by and large, everyone seems to still refer to it as Pouhon, the original recipe name for that particular corner. Fuminelli onto the brakes. So tricky to get the power right through these S-bends. Here comes the 133 car. Here comes David Fuminelli to the second sector split, which is just kind of on the apex of the Paul Frere curve. 3/10 down, though, in that second sector. Not quite as strong as last time. However, I've been surprised by quick last sectors before, so I'm not ruling out another improvement.
No, not at all. As we now watch him make his way down through Board's bus stop, he's got Blanchimont to take first as he takes this very high-speed section as he now makes his way down through. Oh, he has abandoned the lap, so not good at all indeed for Fuminelli, but still on top spot. And no doubt it'll be a hard task for anyone to beat that pole lap time right now, but we'll have to wait and see. Max Hofer well, he's currently pit in at the moment. Yannick Mettler is still out and about, I believe, too. So we've still got options. There's still plenty of opportunity with 3 minutes left to go, Adam.
Fuminelli with this pit entry, that's the end of his session. He's not going to get back out there in time unless they've got a real lightning set of tyre changes to come at Kessel Racing. In fact, he's not stopping anywhere near the garages either. So I think the Kessel car is done for this session. So then what remains now is to get the popcorn out and see if anybody can beat this time from David Fuminelli. Hofer and Mettler would surely be 2 of the prime candidates. However, Benji Hites has just set a personal best time of 2:18.159 to go 4th fastest overall. Here's Adam Christodoulou. We haven't seen a quick lap out of him for a couple of laps. On this occasion, he's brought it into pit lane. Maybe that is all she wrote then for that session for Adam Christodoulou. 39 car is in as well. Seems as though a few drivers are abandoning ship and heading to the pit lane. Is there anyone out there who is likely to set an improved time? There is the 911 car of Steve Jans. That is currently 12th overall, and I think the 5th, 6th fastest of the Pro-Am runners. Alan Valente has just improved. The number 33 Team GT Mercedes has just bumped Benji Hites down to 5th. Valente in the 33 Team GT Mercedes goes 4th fastest, which means that as of now, it's 4 Pro-Am cars in at the top 4. Of course, with this qualifying format, we're going to have average times across the 2 sessions, across the 2 drivers. There is so much at stake in the second element of the session. The likes of Fuminelli, Hofer, Mettler, Valente, they're all the pro elements of that Pro-Am duo. And I'm sure they're going to be coaching their driver every inch of the way before Qualy 2 to try and maybe be on the first row of the grid come at the start of our 2-hour, 20-minute endurance race that takes place tomorrow here at Spa. Steve Jans through the Jackie X corner and onto Pouhon. Currently about half a second off in the first split. Let's see, though, what Sector 2 looks like. It's clear that he hasn't abandoned the lap yet, and Steve Jans could break into the overall top 10 if he keeps pushing.
Yeah, he certainly can. Trying to get a P12 right now, heading into the next chicane now at Les Farniers as he makes his way through 12 and 13. Next up, again, is Campus Corner for this purple Get Speed Mercedes, heading into the next right-hander. And, as you know, whittles his way through that section of Campus, heading through towards Paul Frere at turn 15. And next up will be Francorchamps after turn 16 as he now heads his way around it now. Of course, Steve Yan setting, he's going a little bit slower in sector 2 right now, 1.996 as it stands. And so as he makes his way through, checkered flag has officially been raised. That's the end of the session as far as the time's concerned. As now watching Steve Yans come down to the bus stop chicane. Let's see what he decides to do. Does he decide to pit in, or will he set this one? Just rumbles over the curb now as he heads his way towards the exit. Can he break into the top 10? Can there be a chunky final sector as the checkered flag is waved by the marshals up towards the line? No, not at all. P12 is where he remains. David Fuminelli, he gets his second pole position of the session. Of course, it'll yet to be decided, given we've got another session later on.
Yeah, so fastest in that session. David Fuminelli's work for today is done. It's now down to Murat Trahadaroglu. He says, yeah, P1. Now, Murat, let's preserve that if you can. David Fuminelli with a really, really great lap there, a 2:17.1. Curious to see whether anyone can break into the 2:16s here today in session number 2. Of course, I imagine, well, what's the time right now? It's just gone midday, so it'll be interesting to see whether the temps are up or down later on in qualifying 2. If the temperatures are hotter, you'd expect the times to go down a little, times to go up a little bit, I should say, and that could be advantageous for the teams that have run their pro driver first within the Pro-Am category. All of these unknowns still to be decided. Here comes Kiki Saknana on his final lap. Let's see if it's an improvement. The car he shares with Adamo Seika out of the get speed awning. No, not an improvement on that occasion for Kiki Saknana. Seems as though the order has been all but determined here. The recovery vehicles are already out there on circuit, and as you see, as is often the case here at Spa, they're sent down the wrong way, down the pit lane to the paddock once more. David Fuminelli on the not pole position, but the top of the session for this one. Fuminelli in the Kessel Racing 133. Max Hofer 4 tenths off, 4.5 tenths off there in the Aus Motorsport Audi. Yannick Mettler there in P3, the SPS Automotive Performance Mercedes. Alan Valente in his similar Team GT car there in 4th place. The first of the pro cars, Benji Hites in the Oregon Team Lamborghini, and Nick Moss once again punching above his weight as a bronze driver, 6th fastest overall in that session in his pro class McLaren 720S GT3. Adam Christodoulou, Christian Koronovsky, Kevin Giardoni and Jordan Love rounding out the top 10. Marcin Jedlinski, 11th fastest in the Audi from Olymp Racing. Watch that in the hands of Carol Bash in session 2. Steve Yans in 12th. Owen Zanotti, 13th. PT Biron Bakhti in his International GTOpen debut there in 14th fastest. Janine Schaffner, 15th, head of Laurent de Meus. Alexander Krakowina, Kiki Saknana and Omar Jackson. That's our order for that session here at Spa-Francorchamps. But of course, the qualifying for this weekend's 2-hour 20-minute race will be determined in a 2 qualifying format. The second element of qualifying will come a little bit later on this afternoon. But for now, thank you for joining in, thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back with more International GTOpen action a little bit later today.